Hello, welcome to episode 3 of our Timberborn Update 2 Iron Teeth Let's Play. Last episode we had a little bit of a long one. We got a lot of stuff done, added some more production things, expanded our farming area a little bit, added more barracks, and even started planting some trees over here. And we've got plenty more to do. We have a drought coming in 0.7 days. So suffice to say we've got quite a bit going on. We're going to go ahead, since we're already over here, and start with this thing right here. We're going to actually change that top piece to a dam at the suggestion of a couple of very smart people in the comment section. And we're going to do the same thing over here. And then in the middle, we're going to put our triple floodgates. I'm not going to unlock them at this exact moment, but that is where they're going to go. And in doing that, we're going to have a little bit more control over how our water flows and maintain order just a little bit better. But it's going to be a long time before we get to there. And I think we can actually, it's not going to matter now because, you know, half a day we're going to have this stop flowing anyway. But before the next drought, for sure, we want to have these floodgates in place. So we're going to keep an eye on our science points and our other progressions here and do what needs to be done. So before we really get going here, let's address a couple things you guys brought up in the comments. First off, we have this farm area. A couple people said they would want to see the farm expanded and get rid of some of these berries. Yeah, I think we're good on berries for the time being. You know, we only have 744. I think that's probably enough. So we'll take care of that. Somebody said, hey, you should put in a water dump up here and do more tree farming. And yeah, we're going to do that. It's just a matter of putting in levees to make sure we can actually take care of all of these things. So I think probably the best spot for right now would be to do something like that, and then something like that, and something like that. And they'll get to that in due time, but I am going to slightly elevate all of this because if we don't, they'll just default to building on these things. So we need to take care of that. We need to get more storage started here, so we're going to unpause these lower level guys right here. We need to get our water upgraded here. We have these large water tanks we have to start building. The reason, again, that I hadn't done this yet is because we have not a lot of gears being produced. So we can actually turn the gears back on and get the large water tanks going here. And that's just one of those things that takes a little bit of time to get everything completely up to speed. Well, we don't have 20 planks anyway, or 20 gears anyway, so it's not like that really matters right now. We have any of those, but these water wheels aren't going to be making any power pretty soon. In fact, in 0.2 days, they're not going to be making any power, so we're going to have to go back to our old standby friend, the power wheel, and his, 50 horsepower? Which is enough to, I guess, do one of these guys? How much power do these guys suck up? It's not going to tell me. I'm going to have to go in here and look. Yeah, 50 horsepower, and the gear workshop takes 120. So, you know, it's almost not worth it to even bother when you have stuff to the degree that we do now. So let's go ahead and put ourselves back on our fast speed here and continue what we have going on. I'm going to go ahead and pause these two because the drought has already begun. We want to save our water up here as much as we can. And these aren't going to move for a while. So that's always fun. But good news is they're almost done here, getting these levees in. And then we can have finally a little bit of stuff still taken care of here. And then we'll be able to continue planting some trees in this whole area, I think. Yep, looks good. We'll get those planted. And we can continue planting down here as well. So I think what we're going to want to go ahead and do down here, just in the interest of quickness, is keep this as birch. Because they are very fast growing. They're easy to get moving quickly on. And so we will do that. I think is everything this can touch. Obviously back here there's no water, so it's probably not happening. And then also someone said you don't have any haulers. That's why all of your stuff is taking a little long. We actually don't have the workers. Do not have the workers to have haulers unless we take them away from something else. So, since these aren't going to work anyway, we're going to close all those down. And now we do have a couple haulers. So, what we're going to do, prioritize that one by haulers, and prioritize this one, make him a lower priority, then make this a lower priority job as well. But now, see, look at all this we have. So much more space up here, so we can actually use this to do useful things, like grow and store food. Because of course we can, right? So I think we want to have, is it on the other side going to be better? I guess it doesn't really matter. But if we put this guy here, another couple next to that, and I guess we're probably doing okay. We are eventually going to want to move some of this out of here just so we can have a little more production before we really take over other parts of the map. So having food over here probably would not be a bad idea. So let's go ahead and make a whole bunch of potatoes over here. So I think these, well, yeah, we'll get this entire thing. I think I can get all the way down here. Yeah. Also doesn't hurt to help. It doesn't hurt to help. Wow. It does not hurt to have some additional carrots and some sunflowers over here as well. So I think probably, actually, you know what? No, we're going to have right here, we're going to make this some storage. We actually don't have any planks right now, so we probably don't want to build that quite yet. It's going to take a while, but we will leave that open. We'll set one of these to harvesting, one to planting. Make sure this is set the same way, and it is. That's good. All right, I think we can probably... We don't have enough beavers. I know, kind of a dangerous thing to say in an Iron Teeth playthrough, is that you don't have enough beavers. Because then you just build more breeding pods, and then you get really, really caught up with all of that stuff, and then before you know it, stuff just isn't going well. So we're gonna leave that alone. We're gonna take out some of these bushes here, just because we really, truly don't need all these bushes. We have so many berries stored up already. I can't believe it. It's truly absurd how many berries we have. So we're going to not do that. I think if we take a look at everything else we haven't unlocked yet, can make paper. We don't have enough gears to make paper, but that's of course how we get to our dynamite and our explosives and everything. So We want to keep this on our radar, but I don't think we explicitly need it right now. Tapper's Shack, we probably don't need it this exact moment, but we're definitely going to want to get in there sooner rather than later. Wood workshop, of course, we'll need for the mine, which right now is not super relevant because I don't think there's one over here unless it's hiding underneath all this. I actually don't know if it is. Okay, this looks strange. I don't think there's one in here. No. I don't even know where there's another one on the map, to be completely honest with you. Or if this one even has an unlimited... Okay, yeah, there's one over here. I doubt we're going to make it over there for a very long time. And we need to build a path over here. I remember someone saying something about that, so we're going to give these guys a little bit of help to make sure that can happen. And I think actually we want to have these all connected anyway. So by doing that, our guys can get here a little easier. I am going to go ahead and make the executive decision to research the triple floodgate and get those two guys in there. So real quick, while we are here, unpause these. I want to talk a little bit about one of the things somebody said in the comment section I thought was really, really smart. So you see, you have these dams here, and then you have the triple floodgates. The height of the dam, if these are at half, you can adjust these in half increments. If this is fully closed, water can still come out of the dam and not completely overflow. But if you move this down to 2.5 instead of 3, you'll notice these are lower than the dam height. So it's always going to let water out, no matter what. So you're never going to have, if you have two of these, you're never going to have more inflow than you do outflow because of just the speed of the way the water's coming in and everything. It's going to be completely fine just to have two of these just like this, because no matter how high it is, it's always going to have outflow. And if the drought happens, then it's going to stop. You just put it up to all the way up to 3 and it's fine. But when the drought ends, then you're not going to immediately flood your entire map because you have these dams here on the side. So I thought that was pretty smart. There's a couple people that mentioned something to that effect. So if that was something that you were a part of, congratulations on being very smart. Smarter than I was, at least. Okay, now we can unpause. I'm actually just going to go ahead and unpause all these, because we got to get a move on here. But we got to get some more beavers. So I think we're going to have to get our breeding pods going here. Go ahead and get some of these guys taken out. We're going to double, in a dangerous move, double the amount of our breeding pods here. And get some more beavers coming in. Because I really don't think we're adding them much faster than they're dying off from old age. So we definitely need an influx of beaver bodies because we're starting to get to the point where we just have to have people to, well, beavers, to be working on stuff. And I really should probably have another 5 or 6 of these lumberjack things over here. And we're just not in a point where we can staff these appropriately. We have 107 chestnuts. We should be harvesting pine stuff, but we don't have the science points to unlock the Tapper Shack just yet. Now we have 17 free beds. We have 19 vacancies. So we're feeling some type of way about our ability to get work done, I suppose. So these guys are just we can't replace them fast enough. So that's why we have these problems here. I'll go ahead and take this down to 2 guys. Let's see, what else can I get away with? I think the problem we have now is we just don't have enough bodies to work stuff, you know? I already deprioritized the water dumps because they're basically autonomous. You just have to make sure they have enough water in there to actually be useful. And of course, these guys can't really do anything right now because there's not enough logs. And there's not enough logs because our beavers aren't cutting them. And why aren't they cutting them? Because they are working in places like this. So we're going to deprioritize the inventors to the lowest possible priority. That way, if there's nothing else to do, they can come in here and think about stuff. Be smart for a little while. And in the meantime, we'll just have to wait. Once again, our stop, I guess our, what do you call it? Log jam, if you will, is planks, which is why I have 6 of these. But it's just not fast enough. We just need a lot more planks. And I know I'm building a lot of stuff at once that requires the planks. And that certainly is not helping matters. But, you know, it's there's a certain amount of stuff you just kind of have to do in the beginning of the game, and there's not really a way around it. You just have to kind of buckle down and make sure stuff gets done. And I think these are all marked as a priority. I think, like, see, they keep dying of old age faster than we can actually build anything. So let's go ahead and get these breeding pods up because we really need more beavers. In fact, this entire time we've been recording, I'm pretty sure we've been losing population because we haven't been refilling it fast enough. And it's just going to take them a while to get down to that. I was hoping we would be able to get closer to getting all this stuff done, but it doesn't seem like that is really going to be something that's possible this cycle. I hope I'm wrong. But it's, you know, stuff is just taking a long time. And that's just the way it goes. You can't always control anything. So, of course, this warehouse is completely full because this poor guy has been doing his thing for this whole time, and no one's come to get anything from him. Because they haven't had time, because they've been busy doing other stuff. This is why we need more beavers. Well, that should double our birth rate at least. I just need these guys to be cutting this stuff down. We got stuff to do. We have stuff to do. So our supply and demand is actually pretty equal right now, which is interesting. Considering how much we put into these things for there to only be 7 buildings that use the power. The big wheel's cool though. And if we can get this all figured out. I know this is like hundreds and hundreds of logs right here. I can already hear people saying that's not the most economical use of your resources in the early game. Alright, well that's fine. Fortunately, I get to decide what we do in these because I'm the one playing the game. But it's, in all seriousness, it's good to get advice, and it's helpful to have people that undoubtedly know more about the game than I do actually in here telling me about different things that I can be doing. We don't want to put carrots there. So that's always fun. Always welcome the comments. Always appreciate. So I think we're actually doing okay. Somebody else said that I should put levees along this entire thing and double the height of the river. And that's a lot of work. We already have all these trees right here. I think we're just fine right now the way all of this stuff is. Just got to get caught up. Got to make sure we can actually, you know, get literally anything done. So I think we can get a little bit of these things out of here. Our guy can get back to work getting some of the metal harvested. We just don't have enough dudes. We have a critical lack of dudes. Now I have 21 gears, which means I can safely build a large water tank. And I should put it in a good location. Oh, not going to get much better than that. To fill in a space right there, huh? Now I think I don't have another huge bit of gears, so I'm not going to build another one quite yet, but I think we're going to put another one probably right there. It's just going to take forever to get more gears, and I don't want to slow things down more than I absolutely have to. So we'll leave them alone for a while and take a look at a couple of other things that we can be doing here. Again, we have all this other housing. We have water things that aren't relevant right now. Aquatic farmhouses we could get into. I don't think we need to at this exact moment. I could research a grist mill. And that would probably actually be a good use of my time and resources here. And we could actually put grist mills right here. So what I'm going to do... Okay. Get rid of the ones in front of the doors. And just move them that way like so. These will connect because they are adjoining. And I think we should still be okay with the amount of stuff we got going on. This will allow us to make our wheat. We've got our grills, then we'll have to put in our bakery, which we can almost research. But that's really going to help our food security long term. It's something we definitely need to get into. We just don't currently have anybody doing work at the inventor because everyone is kind of busy doing all this other stuff. So now I guess we're finally making progress on this thing again after I finally remembered to put the put these paths all the way around. Looking good. This is definitely not going to be done by the time we get to the next drought, but you know, that's okay. We can try to speed it up a little though, because I'm pretty sure it's just all logs. And we actually pulled another dumb here and didn't mark all these trees for cutting, which I'm sure will come as a surprise to precisely 0 of you that this could have possibly happened again. So, cheers to me for that one, I guess. I kind of don't want to mess with the priorities for these guys, but we're probably going to have to do that. We really just need to get more of this stuff done before the droughts happen, because once that happens, then there's no more power for what, a week in game until we get to engines, which I believe 400, yeah, it requires the metal, so we do have to have those resources put together. I don't know that we're going to be able to get there this episode, but if we can, we're going to be in really good shape. I just don't know. A smelter's going to require 300 science points, which I mean, I guess we could build it, but I'd have to divert. Okay, what are you complaining about here? Okay, no recipe. Wheat flour. Grind up that wheat flour. So I really just wanted this to be done, but now they're waiting on logs. And we're just, yeah, here comes the drought again. We're just going to have to, okay, that was the wrong thing for me to click. We're just going to really have to get these guys in here. I mean, I got 8 builders, and they're all slow. Every last one of them. Do I even have these marked as priority? So I guess now they're priority. They know. Will we get this done in 3 days? No. We almost certainly will not. Just another example of maybe a little bit too overeager projects going on here. We'll see. Are they able to get... Oh, they're actually kind of close. Just waiting on logs. I guess we just have to prioritize these guys again. Probably is a little bit of a killer to the rest of these industries over here, but it is something we actually need. And we've got potential problems on our hands if we don't keep up with all this, because eventually this does need to be going up all the way. Okay, yeah, there we go. We have one floodgate. Yeah. They'll be fine long term. This building has still not been emptied, which, whatever. It's not like we really need them to gather more. Anyway, we already have 330 of it. That's going to have us in a good spot for a while. Just waiting. Just a whole lot of waiting. So yeah, it's definitely going to... I didn't want it to take this long, but it's definitely going to be into cycle 7 where we have this completely done. And even then, man, these beavers just keep dying of old age. They got to stop that. That's so annoying. Very inconvenient. So kind of like episode 1, we're kind of stuck at this point. We just have to wait for stuff to happen, which I know isn't super exciting. But we will we'll attempt to make things a little more interesting. While we wait, there's just only so much you can do. But while we're waiting for the drought to pass, which should be hopefully no more than 6 or 7 days, we can just pause all these bad boys. Now there is some sort of actual like a master view thing. Yeah, there it is. Gonna go ahead and pause. No, not the gatherer flags. That's the wrong button. The gear workshop. We're gonna pause that guy. Pause all these guys. And wait for our guys to go to work. Hopefully cutting some trees. Okay, so now this actually needs somebody here to fill this back up. Alright, that was unfortunate. That's why we need more, because we don't have enough for the haulers, which are supposed to maintain stuff like this, which makes me think this one, yep, this one needs some help, so we'll let them, yeah, there we go. We should probably also be storing water over here somewhere. We just haven't really figured that one out yet. We don't have enough space. Go ahead and pause these two. Pumped out a little more water than I would have wanted to. But we have enough stored up. We're okay. Even though I have a relatively small pumping setup and all of our water tanks and everything, I think we're doing okay. So since we're waiting, what else can we put in that's not going to cost a whole lot of resources? We've made a campfire. We don't have a rooftop terrace yet because we don't really have a defined rooftop. We will. We have teeth grindstones. We don't have a double shower yet. We will get there, probably. We have a couple of medical beds. We don't have any shrines. These things are the bane of my existence. We have temples. We have healers, carousels, and mud baths. Those are all, I guess, late game type things. And of course we have the golems as well, which we cannot get to for quite a while. But we're definitely going to get to a lot sooner than, what was it, episode 16 or 17 of the last playthrough. We're not going to wait that long. I just hadn't thought to actually do anything with them until then. So now we have all this wood stored up. I think they can probably finish this pretty quickly and put us in good shape here. You know, I actually think, why don't we just turn this into levees and then the dam on top of this, and then just turn this into a regular levee, just so it's symmetrical and matches the thing down below. So the reason I'm doing that is, one, because it looks a lot better, it's symmetrical. Two, if we have these dam openings, we're not going to need to worry about how many of these floodgates we have. We just want this to kind of allow for any emergency release if we ever have to irrigate down here. It's good to have access to resources that will let you do that kind of stuff. Now the next big hurdle is getting these engines up and running, because we're going to have to wait for those science points. We're going to have to wait for metal refinement from our smelter. We're still not quite there, and that's probably going to take, at the very least, the entire rest of this episode to even start to get to that point. But it will be sooner rather than later. Of course, there's no available workers. We're going as fast as we can. It's just taking a long time. Good news is the drought's halfway over, and we're positioned pretty well to survive. We have, this is fully built just in time to turn off 2/3 of our pumping supply, which is, you know, not ideal. But we're going to be fine. We've got plenty of water stored in this thing down here, and our beaver boys aren't gonna have any dying of thirst problems, I don't think. In fact, this might actually be deep enough where I could turn these, maybe. Yeah, we're starting to get thirsty. We got to turn these back on, even if just for a moment, to try and replenish our supply a little bit. The drought's over in 1.8 days anyway, so I think we're going to be fine. You just can't let things get too out of hand, you know? Alright, so we have still no unemployed beavers, but we're down to 11 free beds and only 12 vacancies, which is, I believe, good progress. And, perhaps slightly more importantly, we are getting pretty close. We have enough wood stored up now, as it stands, to fully complete this. And it's going to be nice when this is full all the way up. That's going to be a huge, huge safety net for our water delivery in here. And yeah, we're still waiting. All these beavers dying of old age. You got to get with the program. Dying of old age is so passé. Instead, you should be working in the grist mill, providing us with wheat flour so we can have better nutrition for our beavers. Get those happiness scores up. Just think about it. You got bread. We can do maple pastries when we get that that tapper's shack. Okay, I have 300 of these. What was I going to research? It wasn't the engine. I think it was going to be, yeah, it was going to be the smelter. So we'll go ahead and research that. This is a long boy, so he can go right there. Back right up to all that. And I think that will be We find there we have the scrap metal. We have, well, we had the gears. We're going to have to move some of those as soon as the water comes back, which should be pretty quickly. 0.1 days. We'll get this unpaused. Then I think I can probably just go ahead and unpause all of these and put all of our lumberjack flags back down to a reasonable average priority instead of, I don't know, brainwashing a whole ton of beavers into cutting trees down as their primary job, which I guess theoretically is reasonable when you consider beavers. Beavers are interesting. You may or may not know, but apparently it's not the physical movement of water that bothers them, it's the sound. So I've seen reports of beavers held in captivity that will try to cover up speakers with sticks because they just hate the sound. And they've established that shoving sticks in a big open space is an easy way to stop the sound. I don't know. Some of that I don't know. I don't know what to believe, but even if that's not true, it's still a pretty funny story. But I have no reason to believe that people are making stuff up. And we're just waiting on gears. I probably should have built another gear factory for being honest here. I'm going to go ahead, while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and remove some of these. See, I told you we were going to get a little bit more stuff going on over here. I'm going to get rid of some of these things. I'm actually going to put in a second smelter. And yes, I know they take a lot of power. We're going to be fine. We're going to keep building our power wheels and everything. It's not going to be a death sentence. We just have to be able to, you know, get them to come do something with this. It's going to take a while, I guess. But we're getting close to having this all done, which is very exciting. Should only be a few moments, assuming our builders can actually, you know, accomplish anything. Yeah, we're going to be fine. Then we'll get them to get these things out of the way. I can finally put down the second one of these things. We have one gear. And it didn't go to this. Where did it go? Maybe it just hasn't gone anywhere yet. Okay. That's fine. I guess I was doing that incorrectly. Man, I wish they'd just hurry up with this. What do I even have planted here? No wheat. Should probably start having the wheat over here instead. Oh, I can actually plant behind all this. Okay. That works out nicely. So I think that's going to be a smart way of doing things. Let's check back in over here. How many, still no gears. But where are they putting the gears? Because none of the stuff requires gears. Unless there's some sort of recurring expense thing I don't know about. Yeah, we're gonna be just fine. It's already starting to fill up a little bit too. That's gonna be good. Closer and closer we go. Let's see. We still only have the one gear. Okay. This is why this stuff takes so long to do. Now these guys are saying There's nothing to do. Well, that's because you don't have a recipe selected, but now you do. We have 753 wheat. I don't see wheat flour. I guess they're not worried about that yet. Bakery, we can actually research. We're not going to have enough gears probably for a good while to actually do that, so I might hold off on that. What we really need is we need additional gear production, which I was hoping originally to do a little bit more of over here. Just requires the game to recognize that I need stuff removed, which doesn't always happen. I know, shocking, right? We are looking good over here. In fact, we just have this one left. Just a few more percent, and this whole thing is going to be done. There we go. That's all complete. We can move this up to max, and it's not going to care because the outlet is, or the minimum outlet, rather, is exactly the same as the inlet. But if we come over here and do that, then we're going to get a ton more water coming out. Don't worry, it'll fill back up again really quick. Yeah, this actually should be pretty good. So we'll just make sure that we're in a good spot to always have this filled. And we theoretically shouldn't run out of water over here unless we expand a ton. And I do mean a ton. So if we put in that guy there. And of course, they're rushing to do this one because they actually have the stuff to do it. Hopefully this will allow us to get some more gears so we can get our smelters going, because as soon as we have those bad boys, we are going to be ready to really do some cool stuff. But really, I'm just concerned about the engines, to be completely honest with you. All right, let's get somebody in here. Let's prioritize this. Get those wheels turning, make some gears. Time is a-wasting. And I think this episode's probably going to have to stop at the beginning of the drought in cycle 7. So we are in a little bit of a race against time. Of course, these guys haven't been planting anything because there's not enough workers available. I'm going to go ahead and get at least some of these guys going. That's one thing I do appreciate about Ostriv over Timberborn is the ability to set individual wages at each individual building. Because that can definitely cause problems. We can go ahead and cool down on the builder's hut real quick. Got some jobs there which will encourage the beavers to go work at other places. And see, it's already working pretty well here. We got a ton of water stored up here. It doesn't look completely terrible. This matches with the terrain, which is nice. This building isn't connected to a city center by... Did I place this backwards? Incredible. I absolutely 100% placed that backwards. Amazing. Oh, I'm sure someone at this point has caught that and is saying something about it. All right, we've got this guy all ready to go. I guess we can prioritize by haulers again, right? That's our motto here. Well, not really. It just sounded like a dumb thing for me to say. We've got a good storage of logs. We've got good recurring food supply. It's just not super boosted right now because this whole section's kind of not working. But we can go ahead, since we have the ability, we can go ahead and put one of these guys here. We have plenty of logs, plenty of planks, so we don't have to worry about this really disrupting anything. I have lost my cursor. Okay, there it is. So we can't harvest any of this food that we're growing until we have a place to put it. So that'll be nice to have that done. How are we doing on this? All right, we're going slowly, but we are making progress, right? It's always good to have that in the back of your mind. And how about that? Like an hour, almost an hour of playing time. We still only have 10 more beavers than we started with. This is definitely slower going than the Folktales playthrough with just the, hey, let's hurry up and fill up the lodges. Whereas here you have to have these vats of goo with some sort of, I guess that's purple monstrosity inside. Well, I mean, that's the beaver embryo, but the purple tint, I wonder what kind of chemicals that is. Okay, so we're looking good here. Well, kind of, because we don't have enough. Don't have enough bodies. Why are we, oh, we're hungry. Now, why are we hungry? Nobody's died yet. We really shouldn't be that hungry because... Oh, the breeding pods are eating through all the berries. You know, someone warned me this was going to happen. And I told myself, you know, I don't really think that matters because the berries aren't their favorite foods anyway. But how wrong I was. Because they're still going to chew through them. So I suppose we should have both these set to harvest. Yeah, here comes some carrots. It's not going to be perfect, but it is a little bit that we can utilize here. And then sometime next episode, this will all grow up. Well, except for the wheat, that might take them a while. But we are definitely making progress. Looks like our hungry boys are becoming slightly less hungry, which is, you know, always good to hear. We have count them, 2 metal blocks. And I think we need a lot more than that. Yeah, I need 20. 20 to get the engine. Oh boy. I'm gonna deprioritize one of these. Get one more body working on other stuff. Okay, so we are, at this point in time, going to be making more beavers than we have room for. I don't think these really care. We'll find out. But now we're getting some more food back. It's just a little close for a short period of time. Let's get this second smelter going. Or we can't. Please. Because it's going to be a dog-eat-dog world if we don't have everything coming up. We'll just have to be at the mercy of every single production chain grinding to a screeching halt. And they're still complaining about not having any food. I keep telling them, there's plenty of food, you just have to go get it. Alright, so here comes our drought in 3 days. We're going to begin our final preparations for for that as we wind down today's episode. Not as exciting as the previous ones, but still lots of good progress putting this whole thing up here. Finally completing our reservoir and putting things in motion to make sure that we're going to be able to really take advantage of some growth in the next couple of episodes. Possibly even expanding. I don't know exactly where I want to go just yet. I don't think I want to go across here until we've done pretty much all we can with this stuff. So we've got a little while yet to really worry about that. In fact, we should probably... we don't have enough... we just don't have enough beavers for this, but we probably should be putting in more of these guys. And somebody really wants me to put in a canal, which we can't really do until we have explosives. And when we do that, I'm probably just going to end up dynamiting this out and converting it to platforms with paths on top, just so this whole thing can become irrigated. Not going to be anything fancy, just kind of branching off this little, I guess you'd call this a river here. And we still don't have any wheat flour. Just 2 more gears, we'll get this thing done here. Come on, 1 more. Someone's got to bring it. Okay, there's a gear. That should be the last piece here. And it looks like, well, I thought we were going to get the gear we needed from that guy. There we go. You couldn't finish it while you were there? There's only 24% of the work left. Come on, man. But if we get these going, both putting out stuff, we're going to be probably in a pretty good spot at the beginning of the next episode-ish to take advantage of the engines, which is going to be very exciting. I don't know if I should go ahead and unlock now. Probably do that later just in case I need to unlock something in the meantime. But that's going to be a game changer. These burn a lot of wood. I've researched over time if you have a lot of them. So we're going to have to be pretty careful about how we allocate our beavers as far as working goes. Yeah, so now they're waiting on berries. So maybe I shouldn't have gotten rid of all those berries, huh? Well, that's going to become a problem for the next episode, because we are pretty firmly out of time. Come up here on 54 minutes or so. Try not to keep these too long. But it is important to get stuff done. It is important to make sure that you are taking advantage of opportunities you've got. And the drought started, so we're going to go ahead and call it for today's episode. Everybody is hungry. Yes, they don't need to really be worried because we have so many potatoes over here. Let's just, before we get too out of hand, just make sure that's all set up. But we got food, they just have to get to it. Again, accomplishments this episode to be proud of. We have this whole thing is done, very nicely set up. Now we're not going to lose any water. We still have a ton to get drinking water from. We've expanded our production just a little bit. We got another chain for the metal now. Very slowly accruing our metal blocks so we can eventually, next episode, get these engines. And then I'm excited about the gravity batteries. That's going to be cool. But that's also going to be a really long time because it's another 400 science. And they require 40 gears. We just do not have the gear capacity right now to really worry about that. But we got some more trees planted over here. Got a second farm that's going to be producing more food than the first one. So that's very exciting news indeed. And yeah, just, you know, lots of good stuff. Lots of nice progress here. So now that frees up our beavers to do other jobs, like cutting down trees or building things, although I don't think there's really much to be built at this point in time. We'll get to some of that in the next episode, I'm sure. Yeah, again, that is all the time we got for today. Hope you enjoyed. I always love reading comments, so if you have something to say, if you have comments, questions, concerns, tips you might think are helpful, drop them in the comments. I read every comment. I respond when I can to those. And I do genuinely enjoy talking about the game with you, or if you just want to say hi, that's fine too. Glad to have you here. Response on these videos has been tremendous, as the first Timberborn series for update 2 was as well. So thanks for all the support. I really appreciate it. Did also want to remind you that I do live stream from time to time on Twitch at twitch.tv/jcthebeard. I try to stream about once a week. I'm overdue this week for one, so hopefully sometime soon. Can't make any promises, but would like to do one maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow night, as of the posting of this video on Thursday morning. Should be time sometime soon to have another stream. Just play chill stuff over there. No city builders, mostly puzzle games, RPGs. I've done stuff like Power Washing Simulator and Trombone Champ and all those lighthearted fun games. So it's a good time over there, but if you're just here for YouTube, that's perfectly fine with me. Glad to have you here. You're a valued member of our community, and I enjoy talking with you. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and we will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.